All right. Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this Deborah platform with another message. And I will say this is a lovely day in which the Most High Yah has made. And I, Sister Deborah, shall and will rest therein. I'm coming today with a message from the Most High Yah. Okay. And I titled this message, Stop, Warning, Go Back. Stop, warning, go back. Going back to that first time you felt love or in love with Yah. Stop, go back to that feeling that you had for the Most High Yah. Your first feeling toward Him when you learned of Him, His goodness, His grace and His mercy, and how you felt. Let's go back because we are forsaken who He is, what He is, and who He's going to be in us in these days, in the days that was, the days that is, and the days that is coming upon us. Stop. This is a warning. Go back. Okay? Go back where? To that time when you fell in love with Him. That feeling you had when you first met Him. You need to go back there. And that is the place you need to rest therein from this day on. There's a lot of things going on in the world today. And I know it's also causing people to go to and fro, trying to find who they are, what they are, and where they're at in this day and time. You don't need to be caught up in all these issues that is going to come up on us, because it's not meant for us to be bent out of shape because of the issues that is upon us. These issues was warned thousands of years ago that these things need be. These things are going to come up on us. They're going to come up in us, on us, upon us, on the outside of us, and all around us. So what we need to do is find a place that we can rest in Him. We need to find a place in the Most High Yah where we can lay our head on His bosom and rest therein, because where we're at, you're going to need that. We're going to need that. Okay, so I wanted to really cover, okay, Leviticus. And what He is allowing me to do is He wants me to go into Leviticus, but He wants me to bounce into Leviticus at the beginning, but He wants me to bounce off of Leviticus and go where He is sending me. Okay, so He's been dealing with me on this. This wasn't the plan of my flesh. This is the will of the Most High Yah. Okay, my idea was to surround Leviticus 27, 26. Again, I covered that once before. So He's allowing me to go back into Leviticus 26, but He wants me to bounce on it and bounce out. Okay, so I'm going to try to be obedient and let Him do what He does best. That is, be the mouth, use my mouthpiece for His will. Now He's going to allow me, He's suffering me to go into Leviticus just enough to go in and pull out. Okay, so anyone, hello in the live chat, it's good to see you here. Anyone that's going to follow this lesson with me, if you have your sword and you will go to Leviticus chapter 26, and we're gonna cover verse 40 and 41. Now when I get into 40 and 41, I'm gonna go in and come out. Okay, and the purpose of going in and coming out, because that was my topic, but the Most High Yah gave me something that can bounce off of that. Okay, that will cover what He feel is needed to those who are at on the platform and hearing what He has given me, because I'm going to start with Leviticus 26, and I'm going to have to go in and come out because I'm going to be obedient to what he's given me, because what he has given me, Leviticus chapter 26 helps out a great deal of what he's sending me into. But I felt so good about what he was sharing with me that I said, oh, Father, this is needed. So again, this message is to stop. Warning, go back. Go back to that love, that feeling you had when you first recognized who he was, or you first got to know who he is, or had some sort of a feeling for who he is. You know, that's, believe it or not, to me, that's truly your first love. That's truly your first love. And you know me, love is to give and give. Love is not this falling in love Valentine's Day. Oh, I need to buy a ring, or I need to get candy, or I need to do these certain things because I love. No, love is to give and give. Anybody on this devil platform that is teaching that will not cover the definition of love, let me tell you, be careful sitting up under them, because that is needed in this day, that our people know, first of all, what is love. Okay, we heard Tina Turner say, what do love have to do with it? You know, and a lot of people that I have listened to in the last 2 weeks that have sung songs like James Brown and several other, Marvin Gaye, just people give me music and they say, listen to them, they singing something. And as I listen to them, I don't connect to their music until I connect to the Most High Yah. And if the Most High Yah tells me in Genesis chapter 3 and how he has kept the flaming torch on, that we may find our way to the tree of life. So with that being said, I've heard Marvin Gaye sing a song. I heard Aretha Franklin sing a song. I heard James Brown sing several songs that speaks this here out. What I mean speaks it, they go in here and they pull it out. And we misses it because that same flaming sword that's in Genesis 3 that the Most High said he left on, that we may find our way to the tree of life. When we sit and we see all these movies, we see all the past, and we see all these things, and we now saying today, oh, that's telling us about the biblical. That's telling us something that the Most High was sharing with us through his word. You know why you're just not getting it? It's because you missed the mark. He always had the light on in Genesis when he brought Adam and Eve out of the garden. He said, but let me tell you something. This ain't it. I'm going to have the flaming sword lit at all times that you may find your way to the tree of life. So there is always a light on for us. But we got so many issues going on in the world today, and issues that was yesterday that we're trying to pile in our lives, and we are forsaking who? The love we first fell in love with, which is Yah. Okay, go back. It's a warning. Go back. You got to stop where you at. Warning. Go back. Back to where you first felt the spirit of the Most High Yah. I don't care if it was a quicken. I don't care if it was a time period where you felt him for a year or two or a week. I don't care. You need to go back and try to pick up that relationship. Pick up that feeling you once had. Okay. Now, I'm coming from Leviticus 26, and I'm going to have to go in and come out because this is going to be strictly about the Most High Yah. And let me tell you why. I went to the Most High Yah because we have people who are falling away by great numbers. And they are falling away from the Most High Yah in many ways. They're taking the word and denying its power, first of all. Secondary, they're thinking that the word is not going to stand as firm as it once stood in this day and time. But I'm here to tell you today, you better watch yourself, because your best bet is to stop right now. This is a warning, and go back. Go back to the first time you felt him in you. Even if it was a quickie, I don't care. Go back to that feeling that you had, because you're losing it, you guys. You are losing it. You can't, it ain't time to buckle up against his word. It ain't time to challenge his word. It ain't time to come up on his word. Let me tell you something. It saddened me to realize I can't even stand on a mountaintop and proclaim that you all got to understand this thing is spirit and it is truth. The war and the battle is not of the flesh. So somewhere we got to put this flesh or kick this flesh to the curb and start serving him in spirit and in truth. Why? That's our only connection. That's our only connection. We cannot be included in the great falling away. You know, you cannot add yourself to that number. It's already it's going to be a great falling away. Now, you don't want to add yourself to that number. You can't afford to add yourself to that number. Okay? So we have to go back as a warning, okay? To go back to that first feeling we had when we first learned of him, when we first realized who he was. We got to go back there, because we ain't going nowhere but in circles. When we're dropping his word like a hot cake, ain't nothing has been done away with. Let me tell you, nothing. And Sister Deborah gonna help you all understand. You got to go back. You got to stop where you at, go back, and pick up that love. And you know, with me, love is to give and give, because so many people believe that love is a feeling and an emotion, and no. The love of the Most High is like a quicken. He gives you a quicken. It's still like Sister Deborah said, it's a give and give. That's what love is. But it's like a quicken. The quickening of his spirit. Go back to the quickening of his spirit when you first come to know him. And he gave you the quickening of his spirit, a taste of who he is. You need to go back, because we're going to fall, and many is falling in the great falling away. Okay? And I want to first start in Leviticus chapter 26. I'm going into what I was planning on speaking when I go on live. I was planning on going to Leviticus 26, and the Most High was dealing with me outside of it. But what he did is he still say that, okay, I want you to cover that, but I want you to go in and come out. So I'm about to go into Leviticus 26, chapter 26, verse 40 and 41. And it says, if they shall confess their iniquity, confess their iniquity. To confess your iniquity, you have to have something in you that comes out, that has recognized our sins. You see what I'm saying? We have to be able to own up to our sins. Okay? He wants us to confess that. Not only our sin, but the iniquity of their father's sin. So he wants us to take it two parts, your sin and your father's sin. Why is that? Because a lot of people do not know this is a battle in spirit and truth. It's pretty much the sin that rests in you, rests also in your father. Why? Because it was never addressed, like he's saying here. It was never addressed. And because it was not addressed, it went on to generation to generation to generation. And here we are today, worse than our forefathers. Because we never owned up to the fact that, okay, we're over here because of something our forefathers done. Why don't we own up to first what we continue to do that was like unto our forefathers? So let's put two plates on the table at one time. Okay, Father, Forgive me for my sin and the sin of my forefathers. But it got to be a feeling there. It's not something you confess with your mouth only, because he says confess their sin, okay, their iniquity. Now, one thing about this here is he wants you to confess it, bring it out as if it was something you recognize that was wrong. Now, you can't bring something out. You can't confess something that you didn't see any wrong in you. You don't see the sin in you, nor do you accept what your forefathers have done. How can you see what your forefathers have done? All you have to do is look at what is going on amongst your own nation, and you see they're repeating forefathers, but greater. So we have to confess our sin and our forefathers, okay? And he said, with their trespass, which they trespass against me, and that also they have walked contrary unto me. Now, I'm telling you all, these are the things we must bring to the table. We got to bring 2 plates at one time. We got to bring 2 plates. Our wrongdoing, that we have wronged the Most High, and our forefathers doing that they have done. Can you bring your forefathers if you're not sure what your forefathers have done? Yes, because what your forefathers have done is what you see our men out here doing today, what you see our women out here doing today, what you see our children out here doing today. Carbon copy of the forefathers. You notice he never say foremothers. Never will you hear that spoken for mothers. You're not going to hear that, because heavens knows the truth of the matter, of where everything starts. Where everything starts. He could have said for a mother if he found it to be true that it was the fault of the four mothers. But see, the Most High knows what's high and what's low, and anything in between. That's denying his power. That's what we think he don't know. We don't think he has any power, none whatsoever, to know what was, what is, and what shall be. We think he just as dumb can get. And we're the smart ones. We have to own up. Even in our everyday prayer. If you pray more than once a day, put that in your prayer, but you have to be sincere. That's why the curses have not been lifted off. You see, it's because we still, he said, I heard, Deborah, the cries in Israel of the Israelites back when Pharaoh had them in bondage. Them women were crying out. How do I know? The Father told me he heard their cry. And that's when he stepped down. Stepped down with what? That power. To do what? To show up and show out. You see, he said now in this day, he don't hear the cry. He don't hear the moaning. Why? Because we're caught up in every cares of the world and have forsaken the only thing that's going to deliver us from all this mess that's going on in the world. You tell me that ain't deep. But yet we don't trust in none of that. We want to talk about any and everything, but we don't want to surround spirit and truth. But Sister Deborah finna step into you a way that you've never been stepped into, okay? Because I'm finna throw this thing down, okay? Now, in verse 41, that's Leviticus 26 and 41, and that I also have walked contrary unto them, and have brought them into the land of their enemies. If then their uncircumcised heart be humble, you see, he ain't asking you for nothing. He has not ever asked us for nothing. And we walk around here acting like everything that he has asked us to do for his instructions and direction, which is simply commandments and laws. That's how simple it is. Instructions and direction, which you get on your job, you get in school, everywhere you get instructions and direction. But when it come down to the word of the Most High Yah, we have a hard time dealing with that. We have a hard time comprehending that. And that's sad, because that's where our mindset is at. Not just our mindset. I would say our spirit, but our mindset, that's our worst enemy. Okay. Now, here in 41, it says, and 41, Leviticus 26 and 41, and that I shall also walk contrary unto them, and have brought them into the land of their enemies, if then their uncircumcised hearts be humble. See, he ain't asked you to do a darn thing, but to confess your wrongdoings and the wrongdoings of your forefathers. Do you all know that this newfound religion, Hebrew Israelite movement, was founded under Deuteronomy 28? They brought no repentance. They brought no ownership of what, Deborah? What it's saying, because of the sin of our forefathers. When I say ownership, no repentance, no guilt, no nothing, but they newfound religion called the Hebrew Israelite movement. They brought that to the table and said, y'all, let's get our people wrapped around that. But we ain't bringing no repentance. We ain't going to confess our sin and our trespass against the Most High Yah. We're going to rumble from the religion of a Hebrew Israelite movement. We're going to tell them we the 12 tribes. And we this and we that and we this and we kings and we leaders this. But wait a minute, hold up. What happened to the right-hand power of the Most High Yah, which is called Christ in this time? They lost it. They never really reached out for it and brought it to their bosom. And that's why the great falling away it's been going on, but it's going to fall away even greater now because the days that we're in. And I can see it. I can smell it. I can behold it. I can hear it. Because people are falling away from simple things that's going to lead to greater things in the walk with the Most High Yah. Okay. Now here in 41, he said, if their heart be humble and then accept of the punishment of their iniquity. He's saying, accept where I brought you to. Because where I brought you to is an example of who you were before you got there. It's not this country that did that. He said, this is who you were before you got over there. So I just brought you to a land that was likened to your ugliness that you were. Bam, put you in the midst of who you are. And that's why you're over here. But he's saying we have to what? Accept that judgment and that punishment. We have to look at it because we've done wrong. Okay, Father, help us to endure this here mission that you have sent us on to learn. Okay, but yet trust that you still had the light on. What is the light? The flaming torch. Which way? To lead us to the tree of life. But did we go that route? No, we didn't. Because we still the same as our forefathers. We never owned up to it. Now, bam, he finna get me out of that realm. Now, I just told you, accept his judgment. You think these brothers here call themselves the 12 tribe? Do they appear to be those who have accepted the punishment? No. Do you think that they have accepted the reason why they over here and that it wasn't something that the Caucasians have done and the people that's in the midst that had they heel on they foot on your neck? No, they blaming everything from yesterday to today on the heathens, on Esau. Well, wait a minute. Even in Leviticus is telling you, y'all better recognize my power, but they still haven't. That's why in the midst of us right now is the judgment of the Most High Yah. Then he allowed the beast to have his right hand in the midst of it too. Okay, now he's going to bump me out. I'm going to come on out of Leviticus. Here we go. We're going to go to Acts 13. Now, why he's bumping me out of here? Because he wants me to tell you all this. Don't ever play with his commandments. Don't play with his commandments. We should be tired of it. When I first got on YouTube, that's all I heard. They used the commandments like iron claws. Woo, woo, woo. You got to keep the law. You got to keep the law. You got to keep. And I always said, Father, what is this they slinging? They slinging it like an iron claw. What is this? See, I wasn't used to that. I was saying that they're using it as if it's an iron claw. And when he broke it down in me, he said, Deborah, all it is what I gave Adam in the garden. instructions and directions. That was it. So what these men started this thing and booming in this newfound religion, they made it something bigger than really what it really was. You see, they took the commandments and they blew it out of order to where now people still don't know if they're going or coming in it. They don't know where to rest their end. But before this day is over and before I get off this devil platform, you're going to learn something you never knew. And I have told you time after time after time, this thing is spirit, and it is truth. The flesh cannot outweigh the spirit of the Most High Yah. Our flesh is like filthy rags. Go to a morgue, go anywhere where a person died. 3 days later, tell them unzip that and let them see what it looked like. You'll swear down that that's not a human being. You'll swear down that the odor is too strong. Wait a minute, hold up. That's flesh. That's flesh. We put flesh over in control and leader of any and everything. And it rules nothing but the grave in which it goes back to. It looks for where it comes from. And it will ruin everything about you. Because it don't want your destiny to go nowhere but where it's going. It don't want no good for you. We finna go there. Don't ever. Let me tell y'all. I was in the Christian church. I studied Jehovah's Witness. I studied it all. Not because I wanted to be partaker. I was that back pew sitter. You know, I didn't believe nothing nobody said. Why? Because he was dealing with me for so long to where when I got in the place, before they started to even preach, he already gave me their whole sermon to dissect it before they even started talking. They don't know me and I don't know them, but this is how the Most High dealt with me. You see? So here we go. We're going to start with Acts 13. We're going to go into Acts chapter 13, and we're going to cover 37 to 42. I want you all to stop tampering with the Most High's commandments. Stop that. Stop that. You have no right in your flesh to cancel out not one of his commandments. One thing I want y'all to understand. All Yah want you to do is to be humble and desire to walk in righteousness. That's it. That's all you have to do. We don't have time to cancel out this commandment and that commandment. We don't have time to be struggling with all that in this day and time. Do y'all not see what is going on in the world today? Do y'all not see what is happening? How many people are dying out and how many people are doing the worstest crime ever? Do y'all not see that? Today is not a day that you should be on this platform listening to Deborah because she finna cut throat. Don't mess with my Father's commandments. Stand down. Stand down. Go back. This is a warning. Stop, go back, and find that first love in him. Because that's what the problem is. If you don't find that first love, you're going to be caught up in the great falling away. Because this ain't the time to get out of the light. It's the time to stay in the light. It ain't the time to turn up against nothing. And I'm going to break that thing down so y'all can understand this thing. But I'm going to go right now and speak that thing in spirit and truth. First of all, let me explain something to y'all. I've said this several times. There's two ways let me do it like this. Two ways you're walking. You're walking in the flesh and you're walking in the spirit. The flesh has a heart, a mind, the flesh, the eyes and ears. And then the spirit has a mind, a heart, an eye, just one, and one ear. You have two fighting against one another. One is for to really live eternal damnation, it's your flesh wants you to go to hell. What part of that y'all don't understand? Your flesh wants you to go to hell. It means no good. That's why it went into the Garden of Eden and did what y'all told him not to do. Hey, wait a minute. He's been telling and whining to us time after time to get your flesh under the subjection to your spirit so you can walk in the spirit. Your flesh don't want to follow a commandment. Your flesh don't want to do what is right according to his will, what is righteous. Let me say that. What is just. Your flesh want to do everything on the opposite end. And guess what? I'm going to be honest with you. Your flesh normally win. Your flesh normally win. But when that Ruach HaKodesh comes with Christ, I'm telling you, it brings that flesh to the lowest sum where it has to stand down. That's why in Leviticus 26, he said, humble, a humble heart. You ain't gonna have no humble heart in that flesh. He's talking about in that spirit realm, you got to humble and know that he is who he said he is. Now, let's go to Acts 13. We can't get away with canceling out his word. Let me tell you why again, before I get into that. I have studied many religions. I didn't study them based on books. I didn't study them based on theory and someone teaching me them. No, I studied them based on spirit and truth. He told me and taught me who they were, what they believe in, what they stood for, who they stood for. I didn't need nobody else. After he got done with me, I couldn't look to the left or the right for a man to teach me because he had taught me all I needed to know. So when I walk, I know who's who and what's what. So what happened, you all, in the Christians' belief? When the Christians are saying they have done away with the law has been done away with. Many people don't understand. Done away does not mean that we do not desire to be righteous in the word of the Most High Yah and his laws. What it means is there's another sheriff in town that was given all power on the heavens and in the earth that come to pick up the torch and run with the commandments and the laws in him. So therefore, many of them in the Christians, now I'm not saying all of them. I'm saying half and half. I'm just saying that not to say that's 100. That's not true. Or I can't say it's 100. Okay. They're not saying we're not supposed to follow the law. That's not what they're saying. Because if they're saying that, they say we can kill. We can steal. We can dishonor our mother and father. We don't have to give him all our heart, soul, mind, and strength. We don't have to love our neighbors. Think, y'all. Don't that make sense? So the Christians are not saying we don't have to do those things no more. That's not what they're saying. They're saying it was a time period our forefathers would not do what he told them to do. They wouldn't abide the simple laws that he set before them. Okay, sacrifice this for what you do wrong. They couldn't even follow that. You see? So what makes you think today you can follow the law in a choice that you want to make to follow the law? This law comes in spirit and truth. Once you receive the Ruach HaKodesh and accepted Yeshua HaMashiach as the mission, the HaMashiach is the right hand, it ushers in the Ruach. And by that being done, now you what? The law rests there in you. But what's on the outside of you? A flesh that's against the law of my Father. So how do you tame that flesh? By desiring to walk right before the Most High. You have to have a desire and a wanter and such a deepness in you that even if you couldn't keep them, the Ruach got you covered. But you can't just walk around and say, okay, we're going to do away with it. We ain't not under the law. We don't have to follow the law. No! You got to tame that flesh. Look, flesh, you got a law. whether you like it or not. And because the Spirit of the Most High is in me, my desire is to live righteous. I want to follow his law. I want to obey his laws and commandments. Even though I can't keep them, but greater is he that's in me than he that is in the world. He can uphold them in me. Why? Because that's what Christ came for. To uphold the laws and commandments in you. Why? Because he knew that's the only way. The only way man can uphold his law and commandments. So he said, when you're out here and you're denying his law and you're not accepting him, saying, okay, I can murder, I can steal, I can kill, I can I don't have to love him with all my heart, soul, and mind. I don't have to love my neighbors. I don't have to honor my mother. God forbid. That's not what he's talking about. He said, accept Yeshua HaMashiach, which is my mission. And when that HaMashiach, which is Christ, come into you by bringing the Ruach into you so that you can uphold the law. It's not you, it's him that's in you, upholding his commandments and his law. Now he wants you to get that flesh tamed. How you gonna get the flesh tamed? You're gonna tell that flesh whether you like it or not. He said, thou shalt not steal. You're not gonna steal. Thou shalt not kill. You're not gonna kill. Thou shalt honor thy mother and thy father. You're gonna honor my mother and my father. Love him with all thy heart, spirit, strength, and mind. Love thy neighbor as thyself. These are the things I'm going to do, flesh, whether you like it or not, because I got to have the desire in my flesh, but in my spirit, Christ's going to uphold all y'all's commandments in me. But you got to tame your flesh to know ain't nothing done away with. Flesh, stand down and sit down. Don't make people fall away from y'all. If we start, which he already said it, people are going to start falling away for any and every reason. And the saddest thing, they're not falling away from nothing that's going on in the world. But they have the audacity to fall away from the Most High Yah. Oh, no, you need to stop. And this is a warning. Go back to the first love when you first met him. And find your place in his bosom today. No, it got to be a desire. All my life, things that has happened to me regarding the Most High Yah has been a desire to want to do right, a desire to want to treat people right, a desire to want to feel right about Yah and everything he stand for. It was a desire. Was it what I done? No, because greater is he that's in me to uphold anything that I have not upheld. The Ruach HaKodesh with Christ, which is the right hand power. Nope, I'm not going to give up. And I'm not going to let the flesh have its way. Now let's get there. Acts 13. Chapter 13. We're going to start with 37. Father Yah, this is what thou hast given me. And 37 said, but he whom Yah raised again saw no corruption. We talking about Yeshua HaMashiach, okay? He saw no corruption. But listen to this. Notice in verse 38, I don't know if your book shows you, it has a black star. Those have been warnings from me as a prophet is in the wilderness from Yah. The black star means listen up. Verse 38, be it known unto you, therefore, men and brothers, that through this man is preached unto you the forgiveness of sin. Through who? Yeshua HaMashiach. The only one that's going to uphold any and every law there is up in you is the one that what? Is preached unto you the forgiveness of sin. Now let's go on to 39. Let's go back to 38 because he's saying go back. 38. Be it known unto you, therefore, men and brethren, that through this man, which is Yeshua HaMashiach, is preached unto you the forgiveness of sin. Okay? He didn't preach, it has been preached to you, men and brethren, through Yeshua HaMashiach, the HaMashiach being the right-hand power of Yah, been preached to you where your sin is delivered from. Through him is it delivered, not through you. Not through your opinion, your emotions, and your personal ideal, and your personal wisdom, your personal knowledge, your own understanding, but only through the Spirit of Yeshua HaMashiach. 38, 39. And by him all that believe are justified from all things. Exactly what I was telling you at the beginning. Not at the beginning, but a minute ago. It's not your flesh. It's what he is. Okay, now listen to this, 39. And by him, by who? I'm gonna get to the core of it. By that HaMashiach, which the right-hand power of Yah, which many call Christ. By Christ. Okay? All that believe, where you gonna believe at it in? Not in your flesh. You're going to have to believe at him in your spirit, because that's the only place he's going to abide. He ain't got time for your flesh, that ugly thing. Okay, now listen to what he said. Or, let me see, let's go back to 39. And by him, all that believe are justified from all things. Not some things. How are you justified? How are you justified? By Christ are you justified. Nobody can tell you who you are in Yah but Christ. Because by him are you justified. By the law, but no, let me get that right. From which ye could not be justified by the law of Moses. So the law in which you know of in your flesh, you can't be justified by that. But by Christ, all things is justified. All things. So it's going back here. It's giving you Moses' law, okay, in Christ. By Christ, you justified. By Moses' law, you're out of here. And that's what the great falling away is going to do and is doing. Because people are going to do away with the law as if they can do away with the law in their flesh, not thinking that you have to have a desire and a willing heart to do what is righteous. Now, do you do what's righteous? We're going to hear Paul tell you about it. Okay? Now, here, let me see, what else was that? We're going to go on down. Let's go to 39. And by him, all that believe are justified from all things. All that believe in who? Yeshua HaMashiach. You're justified from all things, not some, all things. Now watch here. From which ye could not be justified by the law of Moses. By the law of Moses, the laws that Moses brought down is still Yah's law, but it came with a lot of sacrifice and a lot of other things that you could that it was said that can cover your sins. But he's telling y'all that's over with. I sent my right hand down with Yeshua to throw up and throw down, so I can redeem y'all back to me. But don't give up on what is righteous. Now, what is righteous? The commandments itself is righteous. Who wants to steal? Who wants to kill? You see? So we can't just say we done away with that. No, that's not true. That's where a lot of people try to kick people out of Christians and out of different denominations, saying they're not. But wait a minute, hold up. If we could just humble ourselves, because from what he's telling me, until we understand the sins that we're doing and the sins that our forefathers have done, we're still sitting ducks. You see, we're still sitting ducks, saying we are the children, and you're going to find out you're not the children. Tonight you are. Okay? And verse 40, be aware, therefore, lest that come upon you, which is spoken in which is spoken of in the prophets. See, they ain't listen to the prophets. They ain't listen to them then. They ain't listen to them now. So I that's just out of the question for me. Let me read that again for you. Be aware, therefore, be aware, lest that come upon you, which is spoken of in the prophets. I believed in that, but let me tell you, Sister Deborah been here long enough to see that it's out of the question in this day. Nobody takes heed to nothing the prophet says, okay? Now, verse 41, behold, ye despisers, and wonder, and perish, for I work a work in your days, a work which ye shall in no wise believe, through a man, though a man declare it unto you. That's the prophets. They declare and tell you what he's going to do, what he's saying. What is the Most High saying here to us? That what? Watch this here. I work a work in your days. In your days. And Sister Deborah keep telling y'all, in this day, a work which ye shall in no wise believe. That's why I've been on the devil platform so long, saying it over and over and over. Because it was what he did in the days past. He always son his. He always son his people. So he always had his telling them. Okay? So he's letting you know, even though a man declare it unto you, even though he sent flesh and blood to declare things to you all, like in today, y'all ain't gonna never get it. You're not gonna get it. Because he's already said that it's the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. And from what I can see, to me, today is worse than yesterday, because that's where the mindsets are at. Now, 42. And when the Jews were gone out of the synagogue, the Gentiles besought that these words might be preached to them that next Sabbath. Now, see, look at the Gentiles. They want it. Okay, the Jews ain't going to take heed to it. Hebrew Israelites ain't going to take heed to it. Hey, the Gentiles say, hey, can we get that preached to us? You see that? Okay, watch this here. Verse 3. Now, when the congregation was broken up, many of the Jews and the religions, no, that's not what the one I was. No, that was it. 42. Where was it? Yeah, 42 is where I supposed to be. So the Jews, here go the Gentiles saying, hey, tell you what, next Sabbath, can you preach that to us? Them heathens y'all talking about, them Gentiles, them other nationalities, they want that preached to them. What they knew that was said that the Jews wouldn't declare. They wouldn't declare it until they wouldn't listen to the prophets. See, it says in 41, behold, ye despisers, and wonders, and perish. For I work a work in your days, a work which ye shall in no wise believe, though a man declare it to you. It don't matter. Sister Deborah's on his devil platform talking, hooping and hollering. It don't matter. It's the mindset that y'all knows. He knew it before the foundation of the world. He is, he was, and he shall be. He knows it all. And he's saying here it is, when the Jews had left, the Gentiles sought that the words might be preached to them. They was willing to accept, okay, that which the Jews didn't want to accept. You see, they didn't want to accept Yeshua HaMashiach coming to die for their sins. They didn't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. That's how it is today. That's how it is today. Okay, now let's go to Romans 7. Romans 7. In Romans 7, in chapter 7 and verse 17, it reads, Romans chapter 7, verse 17. And we're going to 19. Verse 17. Now then, it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. Now, where's that sin dwelling at? That sin is in your flesh. Okay? That sin is in your flesh. Okay? Okay, listen to this. This is Paul saying it's not him. Let's read verse 17. Now then, it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwell in me. What you mean, Paul? This is what I'm saying to you all. There's two sides to you. There's a flesh and there's a spirit. Your flesh is always going to try to outweigh what Yah puts in your spirit to destroy your eternal destiny, because it knows the only place it's going is to the ground. It knows that. So it allowed the enemy and every other thing, self and every other thing to destroy you and go straight to the ground. Okay, now listen to where 18 says. For I know that we in Romans chapter 7, verse 18. For I know that in me there is, in my flesh. That's what I'm just talking to you about. Your flesh. Listen to what he said. For I know, verse 18, for I know that in my, what? That is in my flesh dwelleth no good thing. So if you get mad at me because I'm telling you, your flesh don't want you to know righteous. It don't want you to stand in justice. It don't want you to desire my Father's will, which is righteous and justice. Okay? That's who he stands for. Give and gave. Your flesh don't want you to have no ideal of this is really who you're supposed to represent in your flesh. He don't want you to know that. So here it is. Here go Paul. And it's a good thing because he's giving you an example. And he was a man that was mission from the Most High Yah. But listen to how this is. And verse 18, for I know that in me, that is in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing. So you run around here thinking your flesh is all this and all that, you go right ahead. Your flesh gonna send your destiny to damnation in the lake of fire, eternal. So you gonna rumble with your flesh. You better learn to tell your flesh to sit its butt down. It don't rule nothing. He told you your worstest enemy is yourself. That's your flesh. He didn't say the devil. He didn't say Satan. He didn't say the beast. He didn't say your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your friend, your husband, your boyfriend. He said your own flesh is your worstest enemy. And this is what he's saying. That there's dwelleth no good thing, for to will is present with me. Who is that present with me? Paul is saying, for to will is present with me. Paul is saying what Sister Deborah been saying for the last year. The spirit in me is willing. It's willing. But how to perform that which is good, I find not. You see? Because that flesh is always counteracting or going up against or buckling up against the spirit. And it seems like the flesh wins all the time. That's why we can't afford to turn around and do away with nothing, but have the desire to want to do righteous, to want to do his will, the way he has lined it up. Just because man couldn't keep it doesn't mean that we're not supposed to honor and respect it or fall under that order. We're supposed to have the desire to. Now, do you think that the Most High know? Let me tell y'all something. It's not a human being on the face of the earth that can uphold the commandments. Okay? Flesh can't uphold the commandments. Not one. But in the spirit, when the Ruach HaKodesh comes, Christ send that power. That's what that is. To uphold anything that you cannot, until you get your flesh under the subjection to desire to want to do what is pleasing to Yah, want to do what is righteous, want to give and gave, which is the word called love. That's what that is about. Now, hear what he said. He said, and I'm going to read it in the whole verse. For I know that in me, that is, in my flesh. I love how he said that, because that means a great deal to me, to get that word flesh out. Dwelleth no good thing. That's what Sister Deborah been saying for about a year now. For to will is present. Mean that spirit is willing, y'all. He said, y'all, the spirit is what's willing. It's present at all times. Watch this here. With me. That spirit is with me. But how to perform that which is good, I find not. Why? Because the flesh is always battling the spirit that's willing. The spirit that's willing. Now, verse 19. For the good that I would, I do not. Watch this here. But the evil which I would not, that I do. So what's going to bust all that out? The Ruach HaKodesh. He's going to tame that mess. You see, listen to what he said. Paul. Romans chapter 7, verse 19. For the good that I would, for the good that I would, I do not. But the evil, which I would not, that I do. Why is that? Because there's two of them. There's flesh and there's spirit. The flesh is always buckling up against the spirit. But when that spirit starts to tell the flesh how much he has respect for Yah in him, that's greater. Yeshua HaMashiach, his right hand power, the flesh started to buckle up. You see? Oh yes, Paul got to break it down to let you know, because he knows this is the walk 99.9 is walking in. They don't know how to tame that flesh. That flesh could tell you when you don't have to do this and you don't have to follow this and you don't have to follow. Yes, you do. You have to have the desire to do what is righteous. You have to have the desire to do what is just. Don't let that devil tell you don't have no desire. You don't have to follow it. Oh no, don't let him tell you that. You can't hold it. You can't hold it. But greater is he that's in you that causes the commandments to rise up in you. And you uphold it according to his will. Not according to what man says, but according to his will. And then you'll find yourself really embracing his commandments, because now you tame that flesh to understand. I know it's you separate from my spirit. You're trying to get me to go to eternal hell. That's what people don't even understand. We blame everything. Mothers blame daughter, daughter blame mama, daddy blame son, son blame daddy. Everybody blame everything. But I tell you one thing that's definitely blamed from the heavens. The Most High said the forefathers, and he blaming them. And they in full denial. Full denial. They can't even see until they have seen the sin and the trespassing that they have brought against the Most High Yah. They ain't seen it, and they ain't going to, because they still thinking somebody's bothering them. They haven't learned that ain't nobody bothering you, bro, outside of Yah, who brought you here, because the way you were conducting yourself toward him for thousands of years. Where was he supposed to send you? Straight to heaven? You see? Now, I liked the way Paul covered that, because he said in verse 19, for the good that I would, I do not. But the evil which I would not, that I do. Why is it I do more evil, Deborah, than good? That's what Paul said. He's sending a message as Sister Deborah, just like Sister Deborah said. Paul said, just sending the message during his time, the same thing I'm saying. You got two parts to you. You got flesh and you got spirit. Tame that flesh to stand down. Don't ever say to nobody, don't teach nobody, don't go telling nobody that the law is done away with, the commandments. Skip over all of that. Because once you receive that Ruach HaKodesh, Christ coming to send that right-hand power, all that comes into that. So, okay, it was like when they was trying to test Yeshua HaMashiach. Your disciples did this on the Sabbath. He said, I am the Sabbath. You see what I'm saying? How could you? He is the Sabbath. So what are you talking about? You get what I'm saying? So we got to take this picture somewhere else. We got to not have that mindset that we can do away with anything. We got to bring things back into righteousness. We got to bring things back into justice. We got to bring things back. Stop. This is a warning. Go back and learn of the love you had for him at one time. That love wanted you to know spirit and truth. That love wanted you to know what was right and what was wrong. I mean, you wanted to do the things that pleases him. You need to go back there. Every last one of you need to go back there, because if not, you're going to fall to the wayside with the great falling away, because that's what everybody's doing. They finding ways they can fall away. How can I fall away? Which way can I fall? Can I fall left? Can I fall right? Which way feels good to fall away? Which way feels good to go in this direction instead of this one? I used to go in this direction. I want to go in this one now. It ain't it. We ain't in that. Them seasons and times is up. We in that day. Okay. Now, when we go to Romans chapter 4, Romans chapter 4, bring that star again to me. Romans chapter 4, verse 24. Romans chapter 4, verse 24. Okay? And it reads, but for us also, to whom it shall be imputed, if we believe on him that rise up Christ, Yeshua, our Lord, from the dead. Wait a minute. What do you mean? But for us also, to whom it shall be inputted. You see? If we believe on him. You see? We got to believe on Christ, y'all. Christ is that right hand power of the Father. And see, what has happened is, somewhere I can't explain it, but I know for a fact Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob knew about it. I know David knew about it. All the prophets knew about it. But the house of Israel lost without a cause. They've been for thousands of years. They don't understand who the right hand is. They don't understand who Yeshua is. They don't understand who the Hamashiach is, meaning they don't understand who Jesus is. They don't understand who Christ is. They want to hoop and holler like they do, but the truth be told, they don't know. You see? You know why the Father say they deny the power? Because you got some people on here want to say Yeshua, Yeshua, praise Yeshua, Yeshua. And a lot of people saying Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Everybody want to say that, but they don't understand Jesus is nothing without the right hand power, which is Christ. You can't go around saying Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. You can't. You got to bring Yeshua HaMashiach into its form, because they came to work as one, not separate. You see? And that's what a lot of people do. I don't like people saying Yeshua, Yeshua, unless they separate them. Like with me, when I talk of Yeshua, I separate them. When I talk of Christ, I bring them separate. But when I talk of them as a mission, I bring them back together, Yeshua HaMashiach. Because why? When the Ruach teach you the back end, from the back end, you understand, who is this beloved? Who is this only begotten? Who is this right hand power? Who is this son of Yah? Who is this? Who is this that was spoken of? All power, Christ, HaMashiach. See, who is Yeshua? Yeshua is an angel that was brought lower for the mission. That's why he says, sit on my right hand till I make that earth your footstool. How you going to do it? With my right hand power. And when I finish, I'm going to hand that same power over to you. And you're going to go down there and you're going to do what you were called to do. What you were, before the foundation of the world, you were sacrificed to do. But you couldn't go down there by yourself, because you wouldn't last. You was the son. You're the son of man on my right hand. But I'm the son of Yah. My right hand power. Bam, now you go. I give you my power. Go do the mission to bring minds back to my bosom. Stop this stuff trying to separate the will of the Father. You have to have a desire in you to want to. It has to be a feeling that I want to live righteous. How you gonna live? How you want it? Wait a minute. Here, I want to live righteous. I want to live just. I wanted to do your will, Father. That's what I have a feeling to do. Can you do it? Can you do it? No, I can't do it in my flesh. But you can do it for me. See, we got to let him know that greater is he than he that's in your flesh, your worst enemy. Don't turn nothing down from what he didn't place there. My desire. That's all. When he said humble, he ain't asked you to do nothing. What did he say? If they humble heart. That's all. That humble heart ain't doing nothing. But see how little he asks. See how little he asked. When he told Yeshua, he said, sit on my right hand till I make the earth your footstool. You see? Just listen to me, trust me, and believe me. Let me be first. Let me be last. Let me be all in between to do this thing right in you. But don't let your flesh get dominion over me. Don't let your flesh tell you do away with this and do away with. No, flesh, you ain't doing away with nothing. I'm not supposed to be killing people, so that's not done away. I'm not supposed to be stealing from people, so that's not done away. Wait, hold up, Deborah, hold up now. Isn't the law done away with? No. The commandments? No. They are upheld through the power of Christ within you. That place that's going to the eternal Jerusalem. You see? That's how it's upheld up in you. Because you believed in him. You're going to die with him and you're going to rise with him. You see? Why? Because you believed in him. And when you believed in him, Christ said, okay, you got it. Let me give you this here. Let me give you the Ruach HaKodesh. My power finna bring it in you. You see? To help you. Because he know your flesh is lost. Your flesh is sick. That's what Paul just said to you all. When he wanted to do right, he couldn't do it. Evil is always present. He wasn't telling you no lie. He's telling you the same thing Deborah been telling you the whole year about separating yourself, the darkness from the light. That's all that is. All that light and that darkness, that's what that represents, your spirit. Get it in the right order. Get it in the right place. Okay? Now here in Romans chapter 24, it says, but for us also, to whom it shall be inputted, if we believe on him that risen up, Yeshua, our Lord, from the dead. Now you look at that verse. Where you see Christ in there? Where you see Hamashiach in there? He's the power that risen him up. You see it's just Yeshua, because Yeshua had to die for our sins like a man. He had to shed the flesh blood for us. You see? But something rose him up. You want me to tell you who that was? That was that right-hand power of the Most High Yah. That was his beloved. That was his only begotten son. That was the son of Yah. Yeshua sitting here that was down, and he's the son of man. He was risen up with the son of Yah, because the son of Yah risen him up, because that's the whole part of the mission. Now, and it says in 25, who was delivered for our offenses and was raised up again for our justification. You see, it's all in him. You see, we run around here thinking it's about us making a choice whether we want to do right or do wrong. You see, we don't even understand that Christ came to fulfill the mission of the Father that was placed before the foundation of the world, to redeem those who have gotten off the path of righteousness, to bring it right back to the bosom of the Most High Yah. How? Through Christ, the right-hand power. So we can't even keep ourselves. We can't even hold not one commandment. I sit back and think about these men talking about hold the commandments. We got to keep the law. Not one of these men honor their fathers nor their mothers. When I say one, I'm saying that because in my spirit, the number is greater, not honor their mother and father. So I want that to really be recognized. It's not saying none of them, but it's saying, making a statement how great the number is that don't honor their mother and father. They don't even deal with their neighbors. And it's really, the neighbors mean near. There's people that surround you, treat them like you treat yourself. Okay? Don't disrespect people. If someone asks you for something and you have it, give it. Even if it's just your time. Yes, your voice. Can I help you? And it don't have to be materialistic. It's good to have some things, but y'all, it's not limiting it to just things that you can give. I know on a couple of verses, he's talking about if you have an enemy, give him a gift. Give. It kills away all the hate. See, people don't understand that. And they're not going to understand it, because if I live to be in 2021 and 99.9 don't have no respect in the love of man versus the love of Yah, the love of man is fake and the love of Yah is to give and gave, they still don't understand it. They still don't understand it, nor do they receive it. Because he said they say they see, but they cannot see. They say they hear, but they cannot hear. But their actions, okay, speaks louder than any word. And I thank the Most High for that, because that's where you get the spirit, where he said, try the spirit by the spirit. And he speaks on discerning. That's the gift. See, when he give me the both of those, I get in trouble not using them. So I try to use them every chance that I get. Now it says in Romans chapter 4, we'll go to 24 and 25 again. But for us also, to whom it shall be inputted, if we believe on him that risen up Yeshua, our Lord, from the dead. If we, how? Who, verse 25, who was delivered for our offenses, our sin. He was delivered up for our sin. How dare we reject the one that died for our wrongdoing? You see, he knew no wrong. And right here today, 99.9 will not accept that teaching. Okay. And was risen again for our justification. We don't understand that all that Yeshua HaMashiach did brings in all commandments in us and uphold it. You see, he's the one that upholding the commandments in you, because your flesh ain't got sense enough to do that. So we don't have to battle with what we need to keep and what we don't need to keep. We need to have respect for what is in us. If the light is there, the light will lead us and it will guide us. And we got to trust in that. We don't need to look for an answer to turn us away, because our answer should be, we should desire to want to uphold his commandments. When our flesh is tamed by our spirit, we tend to follow those things. But when our flesh has not been fully tamed by our spirit, we still kind of slips away. But as long as in your flesh you have the desire to do what is righteous, you have the desire to do what is just, you have a desire to do the will of the Father. See, it's a desire, and that desire is a feeling to want to do what is right. Now, it don't mean that you have a feeling to do just what, that's not what desire is defined. You can have the desire to do something wrong. But I'm speaking of that which is in your flesh that says it wants to hold up Yah's commandments. It has to come in you as a feeling of desire. Y'all know your flesh ain't gonna hold his commandments. He already know that. That's why he sent Yeshua HaMashiach. You see, that's a lot of things that people have never been taught. Yeshua HaMashiach not come for you to play in la la land. He come to uphold the things that our forefathers refused to uphold. You see? So that we all won't end up in the hellhole in eternal fire. So he come to die for us so that we too can accept the mission of the Father that the Father set up, so that we can come back to him, back to the Father's bosom. Okay. Now, when we go to Romans chapter 8, verse 3, when we go to Romans chapter 8 and verse 3, in Romans chapter 8 and verse 3, it reads, for what the law could not do. See, there it is. Why couldn't the law do it, y'all? Why couldn't the law Wait, let me just finish it. Romans chapter 8, verse 3. For what the law could not do, in that it was weak through the flesh. You see? It's impossible. Why our men mumble jumble, they ugly mouth, they've been lying and deceiving you all. You cannot hold the commandments in your flesh. Your flesh cannot uphold the commandments of the Most High Yah. It is impossible. And to think that you can, you're trying to make the Most High out of a lie, that you may feel and desire that you have found truth. The truth be told, as I have said time after time, nothing can be held up that is righteous and just in the flesh. Only the spirit. And once that spirit gets strong enough, it can tame that flesh. But it takes a lot. The flesh still, like Paul says, still when I want to do right, evil is always there and I end up doing what is wrong. It's still showing you the weight of sin and iniquity and all the things that we do that's wicked and evil in our flesh. The flesh is bound to get its way some way or another. But long as you have that desire, a desire is a feeling that you want to please Yah. I want to do right by you, Father. I want to do right by your word. I want to do right by who you are. Okay. Now, in Romans chapter 8 and verse 3, listen to this. For what the law could not do, and this is where our men become ignorant. They don't understand that. The law cannot be upheld in your flesh. They'll bypass all this. It cannot. Now listen to this. In that it was weak through the flesh. See, the law, that they were sacrificing for their wrongdoing regarding the law. They were sacrificing and sacrificing. They couldn't even keep up with the sacrifice, y'all. Not doing right by it. Let known it was supposed to cover the sin that they were doing when they were breaking the law. They can't do it. You can't do it in the flesh, y'all. You never could. You never will. So don't go ask in the flesh, is it okay to uphold it? Because it don't have the right to make that decision. You pray to the Father that I want to uphold your will, your commandments. I know you got me in the spirit, but tame me in that flesh that I may feel the desire to want to walk righteous, to want to be just. And he said, you can think, you can want the desire to want to be righteous. You can want the desire to want to be just. But guess what? It's up to the spirit to tame that and get that together. But Yah has great feelings for the desire itself. And a lot of people don't even know that. A lot of people have habits and can't beat addiction. Yah ain't asked you to try to beat it no way. He said, when you got the power to do that, how you gonna kick drugs? How you gonna kick alcohol? How you gonna beat homosexual? You can't do it. The flesh want to see you in damnation. It don't want to see you going, your spirit going to eternal life in Jerusalem. It don't ever want to. It always want to see you go where the lake of fire is at. That's your flesh. That's why your flesh is your worst enemy. So therefore, it's not going to follow the will of the Father. But you can desire it because your will is stronger. Even in your flesh, to desire to do what is righteous. It's a desire to want to do and please the Most High. You see? Now, in Romans chapter 8, verse 3, for what the law could not do, in that it was weak through the flesh. See? The flesh won't weaken that law. When they was trying to keep the law, the flesh was there to say, oh, no, you ain't. You ain't keeping no law. Go on and break the law so you can sacrifice another one. Go on and break this one too. Oh, you go sacrifice them. Go break this one here. And you take two of them, sacrifice it. That's how your flesh is. And that's the way they did it. Okay. And it says, Yah sending his own son in the likeness of a sinful what? Of a sinful flesh. And see, he sent his son down in a sinful flesh. And for sin, condemned sin in the flesh. How did he do that? How did he come in a sinful? That means he knew no sin, Yeshua. to condemn sin in the flesh. He come to do that, y'all, to die for it all, that it won't have dominion over your eternal destiny. You can't do it. His death brought you that. You see? That hope. Okay? His death and him being sinful came to condemn sin that was in us, that was in our flesh. Not our spirit, in our flesh. That's what Yeshua HaMashiach came to do. Because our flesh thought, oh, I do everything against what he stands for. Their spirit is willing, but they don't want to do. They ain't gonna do right by their spirit. I'm gonna run that thing, and that's what the world's been doing, even to today. When you see all this stuff that's going on, and you see these things that's happening, this is all what sin has done. Even after he came and he condemned sin in his flesh, okay, he condemned sin. He took on sin himself, died for it, so we don't have to end up in the lake of fire. But what we do, we doing just like our forefathers. We keep sinning, bringing sacrifice to clear it up. We keep sinning, being justified in our flesh, that it's okay. And it ain't gonna go where. It's not gonna go where. Okay. Now, when I get to Romans 8, chapter 8, verses 10, it brings a whole new thing, y'all. Romans chapter 8, verse 10 through 16. And it says, verse 10, and if Christ be in you, the body is dead. See that? See what he's saying? Listen what he's saying, y'all. And if Christ be in you, the body is dead. See, your flesh is dead already in the eyes of Yah. Why? Because Christ took dominion over it. Whether you're going to uphold commandments or not. You see how deep that is? He is the commandments that rest therein. If that's not a blessing, I don't know what is. You see, he said, and if Christ be in you, the body is dead because of sin. See, our body ain't gonna never do right, child. Our flesh is never gonna do right. It's gonna sin and sin and sin and sin until it's in the ground. And if he will let it come up, it'll sin some more. So it's gonna sin. But the spirit is life because of righteousness. You see? Your spirit. Now you see that spirit. It's the spirit of Yah that's in you. If Christ be in you, see, Christ got to be in you. See, a lot of people thinking they going to eternal Jerusalem. I mean, not eternal, yeah, the new Jerusalem, and they don't understand now. Christ be in you, the body is dead because of sin. But the spirit is life because of righteousness. Why? Because Christ is righteous. He is Yah. And he's in you. Okay? That there alone opens up a whole can of worms. At least it should to many. If Christ be in you. Do you know most people right now today have not accepted Yeshua HaMashiach? And they call themselves Hebrew Israelites. You see? So not only now are their body is dead, but their flesh is dead as well. I mean, their spirit is dead. That's why I say get to the light, child. That's the only way you're going to get what you need to walk into this thing and out of it. Because if you're thinking for 1 minute, it's time to sip tea and get low and just deal right there, it's not. Okay. Verse 11. But if the spirit of him that raised up Yeshua from the dead dwelleth in you, he that raised up Christ from the dead shall also quicken your mortal body. You see that? By his spirit that dwelleth in you. See, it's the spirit of the Most High Yah which is Christ in you. Okay? That's where the power. And a lot of times he said denying the power because everybody want to come every way outside of Christ. You see what I'm saying? Everyone wants to come in the door every way outside of the door in which we should be going in. Okay? Now I want you to hear this again. Romans 8, verse 10. And if Christ be in you, the body is dead. What do that mean? Your body is dead. Your flesh is dead if Christ be in you. You see what I'm saying? You see how Sister Deborah tell you your flesh can't worship Yah? Your flesh can't do nothing for Yah. Your flesh mean nothing to Yah. Okay? But the spirit is life because of righteousness. Who is the spirit? The spirit of the Most High Yah, the Ruach HaKodesh. It's life. It is righteous. You see? When I said that the flesh just needs to desire righteous, it just needs to desire righteous, and that's good enough. But to walk around and not want to desire righteous or to be just or not to want to follow any commandments and be the opposite, no. Because to get away with not be under one of them would say you're not under any of them. And we can't go around stealing and killing. We can't go around doing those things and think that we're not under that. The law or the commandments. Okay. Now in verse 11, but if the spirit of him that raised up who? Yeshua. Who? Yeshua. Now wait a minute. What's the spirit? Listen to this. But if the spirit of him that raised up Yeshua, you see that? That's where you know that Yeshua was the Son of Man, but who raised him up was the Son of Yah. Hallelujah. 99.9 ain't never been taught that because they never knew what the power of Yah was. Even when he brought them out of Egypt, the hand of Pharaoh, none of them never knew the power of Yah. Okay. And he says here in verse 11, but if the spirit of him that raised up Yeshua from the dead dwell in you, which spirit is that? The Ruach HaKodesh. What part of him that raised up the Son of Man, the Son of Christ, Son of Yah, that beloved, that right hand, it raised up Yeshua. Okay. And it says, from the dead dwelleth in you. That's Christ dwells in you. Okay. He's the power of who Yah is. He's the power of the Ruach HaKodesh. Okay. That dwelleth shall also, I mean, that raised up. Wait a minute, let's go over that again. Romans chapter 8, verse 11. But if the spirit of him that raised up Yeshua from the dead dwell in you, he that raised up Christ from the dead shall also quicken your mortal body by his spirit that dwelleth in you. You see how the power of Christ, which is the Ruach HaKodesh, see that power. That's when he said denying the power. He don't want you to say, I got the Ruach HaKodesh, I got the Ruach HaKodesh, and not accept the power that comes with that. That's one in that. See, that's why Yeshua was saying, and you shall receive power. No one wants that part. You notice you don't see no miracles and signs and wonders because they turn their nose up to us, stuff like that. And they want you to think they got the Ruach HaKodesh, but they have no power. People who've been on this devil platform for many years, to me, it's strange because they show no signs of power. Okay? But they've been on here hooping and hollering to you all. So where is your power? Okay? Now, what it says in verse 12, therefore, brethren, we are debtors, not to the flesh. See, we don't owe our flesh nothing because this ain't going nowhere but to the ground. To live after the flesh. Let's say that again. Why is that? Because now we have Christ living in us, the Ruach HaKodesh. Okay. Therefore, brethren, we are debtors not to the flesh. We don't owe nothing to this flesh. To live after the flesh. We ain't got no reason living after the flesh. We ain't got no reason to be living after the flesh. We're supposed to be living in spirit, like Sister Deborah said. The light. Go to the light. Walk in the light. Get out of darkness. That's what this is. The darkness is your flesh and the light is your spirit. Okay, in verse 13, for if ye live after the flesh, ye shall die. That is so true. You will die if you live after it. Say, for instance, Sister Deborah lived the way her flesh want to live. Do you think that I'm going to go around living the way my flesh want to live and think I got eternal life? That's what your Hebrew Israelite men think, and your Hebrew Israelite women in this Hebrew Israelite movement, in this new awakening. They think they can go around, justify and clarify all this sin that these men are doing, all this wrongdoing, all this unjust, all this unrighteous, and they just gonna walk into the New Jerusalem. They really do. They just don't know. It's the promised land and the New Jerusalem are two different locations. And you just not gonna walk into the New Jerusalem because you walked into the promised land. They better wake up. And they're not going to, because it's spoken. Okay, now verse 13, it says, for if ye live after your flesh, ye shall die. That means when you stand before him, if you live the life in your flesh and then give your spirit not a chance with y'all or no type of connection, you're going to damnation. You're going in eternal lake of fire, okay? But if ye through the spirit do modify the deeds of the body, ye shall live. See, modified. Get it to the point where, no, you might sin in your flesh, but get it to the point where it desire to want to do what is righteous. It desire to want to follow his commandments. It desire to want to do his will, his way. It desire to want to hear his voice. It desire to want to know who he is. It desire to want to give and gave. These are the things that the flesh should desire. Doesn't mean you do it. You might not do it, but it's a desire in your flesh that you can have that Yah would honor. That's just who he is. That's just who he is. You see? But to walk around and figure, okay, I'm not bound to nothing now. I can just do any and everything. Hold up now. What did he say? For if ye live after your flesh, ye shall die. So a lot of people in the Hebrew Israelite movement, because you say you the children, you can be the children that's going to the lake of fire, because there is going to be a lake of fire. And it did not say all the Hebrew Israelites are going to be saved to the point where the lake of fire is not for them. No, 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 no. He gave them the promise of Abraham that they going to go over into the promised land. But the lake of fire is not given even to Yeshua HaMashiach. It's only given to the Father to make a decision on that. Okay? So when we sitting around here thinking we got it all good to go and we going here, you better watch yourself. You better know you walking in the spirit and not in the flesh. Okay? And it says here in 13, for if ye live after the flesh, ye shall die. But if ye through the spirit do modify the deeds of the body, ye shall live. And that's what Sister Jeffrey said. Modify the deeds of the body. That means don't let your flesh go around here doing things it ain't got no business doing when you know it don't please Yah. And if you got the spirit of the Ruach in you, it's gonna nudge you. It's gonna give you some side of feeling. It's a feeling that he would give you to convict you. But if you so stirred up in your flesh and doing things your fleshly ways, you ain't gonna feel no conviction. Why? Because your flesh is ruling. Okay. Now in verse 14, for as many as are led by the Spirit of Yah, they are the sons of Yah. See, those who are what? Led by the Spirit of Yah. Not those who are his children, not the Hebrew Israelites, not the whole house of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. No. Because if that's the case, you got to understand Abraham had more children, and even Dan is not even mentioned in Revelation. So you got to understand it's going to be people just forsaken the eternal judgment. They figure just, hey, we don't have to worry about that. All we had to do is get to the New Jerusalem. We can continue to favor our brothers being hatred toward our women, killing these women out here like it's crazy, doing all this negative homosexual stuff. Men are in the closet and out of the closet. Our men is a great number is in the closet and out, married and still in and out the closet. So many things that Yah is seeing that it is unbelievable. And all we're doing as women is supporting their nonsense. We have to stop agreeing with what they're doing and making it right. We're making wrong right and right wrong. And it ain't looking good for us. For verse 14 of Romans chapter 8, for as many as are led by the Spirit of Yah, they are the sons of Yah. See, we thinking we're the sons of Yah because we the Hebrew Israelite. No, you ain't. You got to be led by him to be his seed. Now, 15, it says, that's Romans chapter 8, verse 15. For ye have not received the Spirit. Now, you see that Spirit? You see that Spirit? That's your spirit. They never told y'all there's two parts to you. They call it a soul. So the reason why they say it a soul, because you won't know the mind of that soul. It just to be something they say that is a soul, but really it's a spirit. It's a spirit. Yah is the image of a spirit. His image is a spirit. Okay, now listen to this. For ye have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear. See, he's letting you know we're not giving that spirit to fear. Okay, watch this here. But ye have received the spirit of adoption, whereby we call Abba Father. Why? Because he has brought us into him. Okay, and now we don't have to be in that fear like we are today. 99.9 of what's going to happen, what is happening. A lot of people are caught up in that heavy fear, afraid, of what's going on. And you know what? But when you in that light, let me tell you something, that fear is not going to have dominion over you. That's where you know you're not in the light. If that fear of what they're doing is that heavy to the point where it is taking over you. Because right here in 15, they talking about your spirit. They ain't talking about Yah's spirit. Yah's spirit is mentioned in there too, but he letting you know you are a spirit. You're not a soul. You are a flesh and spirit. Okay? So once you understand that your flesh means you no good and it is your worst enemy, but your spirit, what Paul say, is so willing to do what is right. It is. It has always been, even in the Garden of Eden with Adam and Eve, it is willing to do right, to please Yah, to do everything that Yah has for it. Right. Always. But he says here, for ye have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear, but ye have received the spirit of adoption, whereby we cry, Abba, Father. Now, even though you don't know you crying it, your spirit knows. You see? Because your mouth and your flesh is too ignorant. It don't know how to cry out. It don't know how, but the spirit of adoption, which is through Yeshua HaMashiach, it cries out with your spirit. Your spirit cries out with the spirit of the Most High Yah, Abba, Father. Your flesh, it don't know its left from its right, and it could care less. But you can tame that flesh. You can get it under the subjection. Once you realize, wait a minute, I'm a spirit. I'm one that wants to do right. I'm one that wants to be just. I'm one that wants to obey my Father's commandments and his laws. I just can't seem to. Why? Because in the flesh don't mean you no good. But your spirit, when it hears that you got a desire and it feels you got a desire, you good to go. God, he ain't asking you for much, just like he told you. If they would just humble themselves. That's all he wasn't asking them to do very much. Humble themselves and accept their judgment. And there's nothing else they can do. But can they do it? No. They won't do it. Here it is, the year 2021, and this was thousands of years ago. So verse 16 says, and the spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit. Now see, Yah's spirit bears witness with our spirit. So he don't have no connection to your nasty flesh. So you can go around here, keep using your flesh to deceive people, manipulate people, to lead people in your own self-understanding, your own self-wisdom, your own self-knowledge, your own self-emotions, your own personal opinion. When you're finished, they got a spirit that needs to be spoken. to and fed the will of the Father. Not your personal opinion, not your emotions, not the way you think and you feel and you understand things. No, they don't need that. That's why he had to send the Ruach HaKodesh to teach you all things, because he knew men and women spirit was going to teach your flesh what they want you to believe. And then your spirit going to be out there ready for eternal, the lake of fire, because you let your flesh teach you through men and women teaching you, instead of getting your spirit what it needs. What do you mean? 16, Romans 8, chapter 8, verse 16. The spirit itself bear witness with our spirit. Our only connection Yah has with us is through our spirit. We run around here thinking it's about our flesh. That's why we can't get no deliverance, because we deny the power of who the Father's spirit is, which is Christ. We don't know who it is, and we deny it. That's why you don't see signs of wonders and miracles and signs. It's because we deny the power. And when we deny the power, hey, we out of business. We don't know we are. That's how you can see people in church for 40 years and they'll turn around and tell you they never believed, because there's no power. They can be in church for 60 years and don't have no power, because they don't understand this thing come with power. You see, he never said it did. Yeshua didn't step on this earth with just word. He came with what? The right hand of the Father, which is the beloved, the only begotten, which is the Son of Yah, which is power. What kind of power was it, Deborah? All power. And what do you say today? All power he was given. You sit there until I make this earth your footstool. And when I'm done, I'm sending you down with all power. Why? Because that's what you're going to need when you get down there. You're going to need my right hand power. That's just how crazy we are as a people. He going to need that power just to endure to the cross. But when he got to that cross, that power backed up and said, the Son of Yah backed up and said, oh, now you got to go on in yourself. You got to go to this here cross like a man, like the Son of Man, not the Son of Yah. So I've got to have to back up. And then he began to say, Abba, take away this bitter cup, not my will. So he knew who he was talking to. He was talking to that power. Take this here away. He know that right hand power, the only one could. Hallelujah. He said, take away this bitter cup. Not my will, but thy will be done. You know why? He know that right hand could have done that. But no, wait a minute, hold up. I came this far. I can't turn back now. I'm going all the way. Get up on the cross and begin to holler, Abba, why have you forsaken me? That's that flesh. That was the Son of Man, asking the Son of Yah, where are you going with that power? I'm starting to feel it. And they gave up the ghost instant. Why? Because the Son of Yah had to ascend to allow him to die on that cross like you and I would have for our sins. See, he came here sinful to die for our sins. So he had to take it down like us. He had to take it all the way to the cross, you know. So I love that part. And in verse 16 of Romans chapter 8, verse 16, it says, the Spirit itself bear witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High Yah. I'm saying the Most High Yah. It says of the children of Yah. See, a lot of them don't understand. A lot of these Hebrew Israelites movements and, we the 12 tribes. You got at least 10 of the tribes don't even give a rat's behind about the Most High Yah. Could care about who they are with him. So you got to understand he already know who's his, because he's coming the spiritual route and not the flesh like we've been taught. See, they teaching us, hey, on the flesh end, we did. Come on, tell me who you are in the spirit realm. You're telling me about the flesh, but I know about the flesh. I'm taught from the back end, and I know the flesh don't mean you no good. I know the flesh don't have no destiny except for the earth in which it come from. I know that the flesh don't want to see you in eternal Jerusalem. I know that the flesh tries you by all evil and wicked. So I know the flesh ain't got nothing promised in eternal life. So you better come. When you come, you better come spirit, and you better come truth. All these other messages you all are teaching, and all about, it don't mean nothing. But to he that really don't have the ear to hear. And if it was so, he said it will fool his very elect. Those that's not even elect by him is what's fooled on these devil platforms. And one thing I love about him, he said, Deborah, stand down. This need be. I told you, they said they hear. They cannot hear. They say they see. They cannot see. And I praise him because he comes with that comforter. And that's what that comforter gives me. So do you stand down? This need be. So in I'm gonna say the last verse is in 2 Corinthians chapter 5. This is the last verse. The last verse. See, we're thinking we're gonna rumble with him and act the monkey on this earth, and then we all gonna go lollygass in the kingdom. No, you ain't. Because there's many things in many verses they can find that said all Israel gonna be saved. You better get with the word. He don't contradict himself. Now, man had went in there and smeared, but the Ruach comes to teach you all things way and beyond what man has smeared. You see, that's the purpose of the Ruach. It's to come to teach you all things. It goes bypass everything man teaching you and man has smeared in the word. But if you don't have that Ruach, let me tell you something. You ain't got nothing coming. You will be taught by man. And that's about man's word alone. Now, in 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 21, it reads, for he has made him to be sin for us, who knew no sin. Now, this is Yeshua, that we might be made righteous of Yah in him. Now, how are we going to bypass being in him and have eternal Jerusalem? Cost you Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The ignorance of the Hebrew Israelite men is this. Y'all had a seed before the foundation of the world. That's the whole purpose of the serpent, crushing the head, getting his head crushed by the seed that was sunk by Yah. And him abusing the heels, because every time Yah sends someone that crushes the plan of the serpent, they always get their heel bruised, which is their steps that Yah has ordered. It's always bruised by the serpent, because they constantly have to run this race, bam, stepping on the head of the serpent, meaning crushing his plans. And he's hitting their heels because Yah ordered their steps. He's always after their heels that Yah has ordered. You see? So a lot of times they thinking that it's all about the whole house of Israel. What they didn't understand, he just chosen a people that he wanted to just do extra love on. And they never loved him back. Even to today. They still refusing to love him back in any way that says, yes, he is all that and some. So I, Sister Deborah, will say this unto you. Don't do away with nothing that has to do with the Most High Yah. Do away with questioning, should I give up? Go before the throne of the Most High Yah in your spirit. Say, Father, I want to uphold everything that you stand for. Anything that's righteous, anything that's just, anything that's give and gain, anything that represents you. So I say to everyone in the live chat, I thank you all for being here. It's good to see you all. And if you have any questions, please shoot. It's your time. We still got a little time here if you have any questions. But understand this. There's two parts, a flesh and a spirit. We have to be about the spirit part that tames the flesh. Because if not, we're going to fall in the great falling away. Okay? All right. Anyone have any questions? All right. Praise the Most High Yah. Whatever we do, do not get out of the light. Do not get out of that light. Don't even try. Stay in the light. It's a lot of things that's going on that's going to make us want to turn and go different ways. Stay in the light. The Ruach HaKodesh got us. Whether we know it or not, he got us. Yep. Yep. He got us covered. Everything's covered. That's why you see these men battling against. How can you be in the tribe of Judah and every last one of your groups got a different opinion on everything? That's because it's self-centered to their own denomination, to what they believe. They don't understand they started a religion. They didn't start something that leads their people to the bosom of the Most High Yah. See, because if they were leading them to the bosom of the Most High Yah, they'll be directing the people to the light. They'll be directing the people to what Yah represents, because we in the last, in that day, and we need to be running toward his bosom. You know how a child run when he see his father and he jump in his lap like he ain't seen him and he just seen him yesterday or just seen him this morning. Well, that's how we need to be going to the Most High Yah. And I'm gonna say this here too. One thing I do notice, and the Most High shared that with me a while back. He said people don't want anything spirit and truth ever. They want to know a lot of chaos. They want to know about what's going on. If I told y'all what's about to happen, y'all now want to come back to my page. That just how deep of what he's giving me that's about to happen. You see what I'm saying? People cannot, people love, they have that energy to sit a minute to listen to a lot of chaos of what the news saying and what so and so saying. But when it come down to what I just gave y'all, I did not give y'all that of me. I had a total different lesson. He said, nope, this is the route you're gonna give them because they need to know this. See, remember when they was challenging Yeshua and saying why was he allowing his disciples to do certain things, and they were saying it was against the Sabbath, and he was saying, "Wait a minute, hold up, I am the Sabbath." You get what I'm saying? That's how we have to look at all the laws is in Yah, and if He's in us, that's what makes Him so greater than he that is in the world, because everything He consists of rests in our spirit. He said it. We just got to believe it and know that that's where it's at. Because our flesh can't hold nothing, but the spirit, our spirit can. Our spirit become one in Him. Remember when He said, "You abide in me, and I in you." You know why? Because we become one. You see, that's how that works. And when you become one, that means all of His power is given unto you in your spirit. Okay. I will most definitely pray for you. Yes, I will. Yes. Okay, we got to I got to do that. I got to make sure I do that. And I'm glad you got what you had already, the confirmation, because that's what Yah is about. He's about giving us that to, because he loves us so much. He wants us to get confirmation. And even me from you all, same way. He don't want Sister Deborah to think she know it all, she got it all, she packed down. I told y'all, and I tell you again, I ain't got no sense, and I know I don't. And I got about 20% of what he taught me from the back end. I ain't worried about the front end because the back end tells it all. So I don't have as much. Yep. And it's all about glorifying Him, giving the credit and doing what? Giving the power back to where it belongs. It ain't in our hands. And we're giving ourselves the credit and the power, and it's not for us. Okay, you speak of the rapture. I see someone say something about the rapture. Yes, we will pray for you. Yes, we will. And you all, everybody in the live chat, we make sure we do. We pray, please. Okay. Do you believe in the rapture? When I was in the Christian church, they talk of the rapture. I'm gonna tell y'all something that he told me before I got on YouTube. And the first week I got on here, he said, Deborah, each and every one of them has a little of truth. That's what Most High told me. He said, each and every last one of these different denominations, he don't care who it is, they have a little of truth. But he said, none of them have the fullness. You see, that's why it's not important for Sister Deborah to go. I've been in the Christian church, the Jehovah Witness, the non-denomination. I've not been there, but I've studied. I attend by going with people. And that's what drew me to learn what they believe in and what they understand as far as the biblical. So throughout my life as a young person in high school, that's what I did. The rapture was also something that they taught in the Christian, that he's going to come back and rapture his up. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something was sad. The rapture in the Christian minds is no different than the mindset of the Hebrew Israelites that said that he's coming to take them over to the New Jerusalem. You see, they don't understand. Both of them are saying something similar, but so distant. You see, when it all said and done, this is what Sister Deborah believed. I believe there is a day in which we are in. And when I say we are in, it can be 4 or 5 years from now, but it's Yah, we're in that day in which the prophets had spoken in time past. And it has to happen, okay? These things must come to pass. Now, the rapture, in the way the Christians said it, I don't totally agree with that. But this is what I believe from what the Spirit of the Most High Yah. Me, myself, I'm seeing myself sleep. I'm seeing myself sleep, okay, until that day of judgment when I stand before the Most High, okay? Many will be asleep. A lot of people thinking they're going to be here when everything go on. I'm telling you all, where you all at is because we have rejected him for so long to where we're going to feel the impact of a judgment. We're in it right now. And this is the sad thing about it. I sit back and I be hearing these people on this platform talk about how things are going on, and none of them I haven't heard not one Hebrew Israelite really expound on or to their people or to their tribes. Yah, we in the midst of a judgment of the Most High Yah. They don't expound on what's actually going on regarding their nation. They don't want to talk about what's actually going on among their nation. They want to talk about everything on the outside of their nation and on the outside of the 12 tribes. Have y'all noticed they always say the 12 tribes, but none of the other nations could care less who the tribe of Judah is or nothing else. They could care less if Yah's name is Yah, Yahuwah, is not Christ. They are not involved. Y'all didn't notice that, have you? All over the four corners, the other 11 tribes, as Judah is involved, and Judah got it from the tail end, and they swinging the whole awakening all the wrong places. They need to put that thing down, stop, and I'm warning them to go back and find the love that they felt in them of Yah from the beginning. Maybe that'll take them a different route, because where many people are at now, look here, they left that feeling that they had for him out the door. They running on their time. A lot of them are not. The rapture, let me get back to the rapture. So when you're saying the rapture, I believe that there is a stage time that's appointed and anointed, that the people of the Most High Yah is going to be cleansed. Okay? He's going to take away their filthiness. He's going to put in them a new name, give them another flesh heart. Now that's scary to me, because that flesh heart letting me know that that's not the heart that you're gonna go into the New Jerusalem with. It means you got time in your flesh. Okay? And during that time, he even said he's going to bring up what you did prior, and hope that you all use what you did and your forefathers did once you get over to that promised land. Oh yes, he's going to bring that back to your remembrance. He said it. So it ain't over once you go to that promised land. That New Jerusalem, that's all I want to see. That's all I want to reign in. That's the only place I want to be, in the bosom of the Most High Yah, Yeshua HaMashiach there. Just let me see. I just want to be there. All this other stuff, I'm not finna tell people that he's coming today and he's coming tomorrow, or he's gonna just swoop you up out of here. All I know, all I know is that he's the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. If he can part a sea to get the house of Israel cross to the promised land, he can do way and beyond this day. So how he's going to do it? He ain't. First of all, he's going to charge Jerusalem, the land itself, to get it right. He already said it. He's going to put a charge on it. Come on, get it right. He's going the greenery and everything, the mountains and everything. He's going to charge it to get right again. It's going to be so right. It's going to be like the Garden of Eden. And then he's going to come back and clean up us, his people, and take them over. And I also know that he's going to also grip them dry bones. He's going to do something with them dry bones over there. He's going to take them dry bones over there, all to fulfill the promise that he promised Abraham. Now, what happens after you get over there? It's going to be a time period. People are going to be over there, and everything he said is going to happen. After that, don't forget, there's still the judgment. You see, the New Jerusalem. See, many people thinking they just going to walk into the New Jerusalem and that's just going to be it because they're Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob's seed. No. You're going to have Christ in you. That blood of Yeshua is going to have to be in you. You're going to have to be one in Yeshua. He's going to separate the sheep. And notice he's going to say sheep. He don't say sheeps from the goats and add the goats as goats. No one pays attention to that. He's going to do some separation. One going to the head, to damnation, and one going to the New Jerusalem. You see? But when he called you sheep, he said, you in there with me. We one blood, we one unity. And that's what y'all want us to understand now. We are one in him when we're walking in the spirit. And always know that. And if you understood that, guess what? You can move mountains just by speaking it. You can cause anything to stop. You can move anything out of anybody's way. But because people don't understand the spirit of the Most High that dwells in them, that carries the Hamashiach, which is the right-hand power, that's why they don't have power to do anything. And that's why so many can be on these devil platforms teaching you all and showing no signs of any power, nor leading you to have respect for that power. When that same power is what's going to bring you out of Babylon, because Babylon has fallen. In case a lot of you all don't understand that. Babylon has fallen. And it's going to be destroyed. And it's not going to be destroyed like y'all, we've been told, y'all. It's not going to be that. It's going to come from within. That means anything that go down with this country is because the people that's in this country have set it up from the floor up to destroy the people. And they're doing a wonderful job. They're doing it from within. And that's why people on all over in other countries are going to see it and moan. It ain't because they're going to be doing it. is they're going to see it. You see, to where we're thinking that, oh, it's going to be this and it's going to be that. No, no, no. It's going to, it's, this country have already fallen. Okay. And there's great sorrow that is upon this and judgment that is upon this land. Everybody going to Dumb City. I sit back and see all the food that's and shelves out. I see places that you wouldn't even never thought would be that nasty and dirty. You see all the stores nasty and dirty. The service of the people are horrible. Mostly, a lot of them are black and a lot of them are elderly whites. You see, nothing is ran like it used to be. No one sees Babylon has fallen. Babylon has fallen, and nobody could see it because of where everybody's mindset is at. Everybody's seeing stuff that don't mean nothing to where they can't see through spirit and truth, because they see it through the realm of the flesh and can't see through the realm of the spirit of what's actually taking place. So the rapture for me is seeing the judgment, the throne of the Most High Yah, Yeshua HaMashiach, and saying to me, how would I say it? That here, come here on my right with those that are the sheep. All this other mess, I'll be just grateful at that. I don't care if I don't go to the New Jerusalem, y'all. I don't need that, not to the New Jerusalem. I don't care if I don't go to the Promised Land, because when you get over there, things gonna go after a certain length of time. Things gonna start to go back to, and a lot of people don't know that. Yes, that's why he said he's gonna put another heart in you, and he called it a flesh heart. That means, if we got a flesh heart, it follows the things of the flesh. But he said he's going to put a name in us, that we worship him. So it's a lot of things that's going to take place over in that promised land. Okay. But hey, wake me up, Father, when it's all over and it's time for you to tell me which way do I go. That's the rapture for me. And I'm not caught up in the rapture right now as far as looking for it. Why? Because I'm looking for the judgment that is set before us. I'm so busy seeing it and embracing it, just like he said in Leviticus, accepting it, because he's already shown me that it's there. Because I was going out. I said, Father, am I going to have to go into a mental hospital? Is somebody going to have to put a straitjacket on me? Because I'm seeing this thing just as clear and people walking around like it ain't nothing. It's a lot of things going on that's right in everybody's face, but nobody wants to see it. Nobody wants to see it. And I thank him for having that flaming torch that he had in Genesis 3, that he said he would keep lit, that we may find our way to the tree of life. I thank him for that, because I can truly say in the year 2021, that flaming torch is still lit. We can see it through movies. We can see it through everything that's going on in the world, that we can find our way to the tree of life. And we can thirst for the water, okay, that we shall never thirst again. We have that opportunity today. Now, tomorrow is a different story, but we have that opportunity today. But we have to trust that he got this. He always have it. And ain't nobody gonna outride or overrule what he already got in control. He said that which was, we have to respect. That which is, we have to respect. And that which shall come. Because it's all finished in him while we sitting here trying to figure it out. There is so much going on to where something's wrong somewhere. Something is wrong. And when we tell y'all what it is, I shouldn't say nothing, but I'm going to say something is wrong in this space where this beast is. It's something somewhere is wrong. I know I already said this last year. Biden is not going to be the president, and I knew that anyway. So already they going up against him, which was the plan. I saw that way back Now it's who they're going to get in there. I believe Obama or Michelle Obama is going to be connected. And I really can't see who going to be able to come in over him and her. But if he came in and be wounded, you see, and it looks like we done told such a lie so many times and throughout times, and people on this devil platform, they done told so many lies and have deceived so many people. The great falling away is still in great number because people are falling away by great numbers. Because people, every time you turn around, these same ones that have been on here for years, they come up with one thing different. 6 months later, they come up with a total different revelation of what they taught 6 months prior. And the people are not getting spirit and truth. They're getting the wisdom and the knowledge and the understanding of these individuals, which is leading them in no man's land. So I just don't get how they're going to find their way back. I really don't. And I guess it's not my mission to be caught up in it, because the Most High always tells me, Deborah, okay, stand down and need be, meaning this got to happen. And I know you think that if you say something, you can do something that can change. No, you can't. This thing got to come to pass. This is my powerful will. And that I do definitely salute. But there is a lot of things that's actually taking place. And it's just, I just can't believe here I think it's in Missouri. All the doctors at the hospitals and nurses walked out. Talking about because until everybody that comes into the hospital get the V, that they're going to walk out. Now, you see the power of actions and minds of people to control others to do something, against their will. How did it get that powerful without it being the beast? How did it get to the point where you're making it to where the children are getting it soonest, and that they haven't enrolled the children properly in school, but they made sure on the first day, second day, that the V is available for them. Not with the mothers, not with the permission of the parents. Just make sure it's so much going on that has to do with power. And nobody's paying attention. Nobody's paying attention that everything that they're doing has to do with one thing: power. Even the fear and the control is under power. Even the test and the V is under power. When that chip and that seal is going to come under power. You see, it's all coming under power. But what gets me is the Father told me, but I charged him that it had to be a choice. Now, even though y'all charged the beast that it has to be a choice, look how he's setting that choice up. Under power. Woo! Father, y'all. The beast is still setting it up under power. See, and he ain't controlling them. He's setting them up under power. Why? Because he has the right hand of the media. That means he controls the four corners of the world. He put out what he wants you to believe. He put out what he wants you to receive. He puts out what he wants you to be controlled. He put everything he put out is controlling everybody with power. And that's deep. Because I was like, okay, Father, I noticed the whole ordeal is the choice of the people. These doctors and nurses walked out of this. You should see it was hundreds of them out of the hospital saying, until everybody that comes into the hospital get the V, you're not wanting to give service. You're not going to give them your service. Is that not power? It's connected to control, but it's controlling you still yet. You have the choice. You see, if they take your job still yet, you have a choice. Okay? If they stop you from traveling, you still yet what? Have a choice. But what is happening is even the numbers that they are putting out is a lie. They know darn well it ain't even 50% in this country that is accepting it. And I think this is really what's really scary. They know already the tribe of Judah percentage is probably, I would give it 70% of the tribe of Judah. They don't want, that ain't good enough for them. They want at least 100% of the tribe of Judah receiving this. The reason why I say that it's about 70%, because we are give or take 16 to 20%. And the majority of our state of mind is to follow and do whatever they say do. And anybody that don't follow and do whatever they say do, this tribe of Judah would rear up and act the fool and make you think there's something wrong with you because you ain't doing what they have done. And a lot of people don't understand. There is a lot of people that has died and they just passed, what is it, the FDA or whatever, just passed the approval for a V that didn't kill at least 600,000 people. You tell me if that's not crazy. And nobody says a word. Nobody. That is amazing to me, how nobody steps in the realm of opening their mouth. Let me tell you something. This country have been on so many concerts by hundred thousands, I'm telling you, and more. You don't see them saying nothing to them. These white people did they did the whole Olympics. They do everything. But what they're gonna do, they're gonna bag that sucker up and they're gonna start coming after it. They're gonna bring this Delta, they're gonna bring all this other stuff, and it's gonna be on, y'all. So the winter in which Biden was talking about when he first got into office, before he even got into office, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. So what the only thing I feel sad is our people, our nation of people are not even preparing for nothing that's beyond them. They only preparing for them and those that's in their midst. Meaning those who's doing what they tell them to do, those who's going to their academy, those who's doing and believing what they believe in. They're not understanding this as a whole, the nation of the tribe of Judah. Because what is they're about to do is they finna put put around the four corners of the world that we as a nation of people are what's causing the Delta and the B to spread. Mm-hmm. They're gonna put that label on us because it got to get to the point where they're gonna think that taking our lives, they're doing something. They had a good cause. And doing the things and hating us. Remember, he said they're gonna hate us on the fourth. That's where that's gonna come from. It's gonna come from making the world think that we're the true carriers. And because we never stood up for righteous, for justice, we never were give or gave, representing Yah and give or gave. Instead, our men's only practice hate, okay, and self-centered pride and boosting. As you look through the biblical, you will hear that in the New Testament, or how the men are going to be. They have reached that to the highest, so they can't see none of that. He said they can't see none of that. That's why they're not preparing. So the judgment that is in the midst of them was for them to see it and say, wait a minute, Yah is judging us. We better get it right. But they still won't see it. They still not see. They can't even see that there's a judgment. You don't hear them talking about nothing. But if you get on the internet and you see all these things that's going on with the tribe of Judah alone here in this country, I don't know why many of you all don't even speak on that. It is so much going on that your eyes cannot even, and your mind can't hold it, because it's so much, and they're so busy wanting you to believe every word they're teaching, every word they're speaking. But what I'm going to tell y'all something like I told you about 7 to 8 times. There's two sides to everybody on this devil platform. It is their flesh and it is their spirit. On this devil platform, YouTube, these people teaching you their flesh, their self-emotions, their self-opinions, their self-personalities. They're teaching you their wisdom. They're teaching you their knowledge. They're teaching you their understanding. But they're giving you nothing in spirit and truth. So they have been successful on these devil platforms, giving you them. And you've been successfully eating from their plate, not even getting anything for your spirit. And that's how they're constantly making it. And then have the audacity to tell you, you better get ready. You hear men saying women, they out here and they better be, they're going to wish they had a man to protect them, baby. Let me tell you something. If the Ruach don't keep us, we can't be kept. Because you definitely, being no male, can keep me. Only one can keep me is the Ruach HaKodesh, the one who got life and death in his own hand. And don't start nowhere with Sister Deborah, because Sister Deborah know where the power is at in the Hamashiach. So therefore, what part do you play that can protect me? What part can you play that can protect me? When he told me not to put my trust in you, because that's what's actually happening. We are trusting in them, and they ain't even trusting in their own self, their own self. You know, they not even getting it right within them. Yeah, that dark winter. They say he's saying it now. But a lot of them, do y'all see they getting rid of him? You see how all the people that's on his staff are reporting that he cannot hold the president position no longer. That was the plan anyway. That was their plan anyway. They said it's all together. The truth be told, this is what they say. They say it's 600,000 that has died from not the virus, but the shot itself. Yep, that's what they said. And that's what they always talking about. He has to, and I don't know where people are coming up with Obama this and Obama. I said, now see, he been in the backwood waiting for this appointed day, this appointed hour. Oh yeah, because they ain't gonna let that woman be president, and if they do, she's something gonna go down with that. They gonna be ruling her like they rule all our black people. Our black people, I'm telling y'all, if we could say, for instance, if we could all get on this YouTube and say if it's, let's say if it's 2 million. No, I ain't gonna even say that many. Let's just say 100. It would hurt your feelings to hear 100 people on this live chat tell you how something wrong with you because you didn't take the D. That's just how I'm talking about the tribe of Judah. That's what they were saying, male and female. Look at the churches. They telling everybody they need to take. Everybody's telling everybody. But what I think, I'm going to tell y'all something that y'all might not know. Another catch to it is this. There are so many that realize they should not have taken the shot. Right now, they don't care. They would march to get you to take it because now they feel they have taken it. They want to see everybody else with the same shot. They know that they feel negative about it now, but they still want everybody to get it. That's how they're gonna get rid of this country from the inside, y'all. That's how they're gonna do it. And you know what, you all? I'm gonna tell. Did you all know what the Most High said regarding the mark and how? I wonder why you don't hear nobody teaching it at all. In Revelation 13 and 15, blew my mind when I saw this here. Not the 15. No, 15 and 15 and 2. Listen to this, y'all. In Revelation 15 and verse 2. And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of Yah. See, he is going to judge those who have not gotten it. Not judge them, but he's calling them in. You see? So a lot of people don't understand that a lot of people that's getting this beat, they read this already. So they don't want you left out here without it if they didn't already took it without knowing. So they're going to try to get everybody they possibly can to take what they have already taken. That's where it's going to be a little war within this country. It's because the one that has taken, they're going to start all kind of trouble for those who have not. Now here in Revelation 15, he said, Revelation 15, and I saw another sign in the heavens, great and marvelous, 7 angels having 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up the wrath of Yah. Now watch this here. And I saw as it was a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, over the beast, over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name. See, he told you 4 stages to this beast. That's why we can't afford to say that's not his mark. His mark is one of those. He separate the mark from the number. He separate the mark from the name. Okay? He separate the mark from the 666. Yah did. All up in this Bible. So when people are running around here telling you that it ain't, the mark is separate. But the mark is what's give him the power. Not the 666. The 666 represents his name. You see? He is the beast. But the 666 is the name of a man. So what is the mark? You see? That which got power to control. That's it. It's all about power to control. Oh, yes, it's a lot of them regretting the shot. A lot of them. I mean, a lot. And because they regretting it, it's like, okay, I done took the fire. Now I want to see everybody with the fire. So they'll make me feel like we all in this together. And that's what their whole goal is. That's why they're gonna start turning you in. They already start making lists of people who ain't taking it. And they gonna look. Soon if they sit and they lied and said it's 67 that has received this beat. You know why that's a lie? They're waiting for half so they can make it mandatory. That's what they're waiting for, half. Because I believe the Most High has stated to him that if you get a certain amount, then yes, you can make it mandatory. That's the way my father rolled. He rumbled like that. Let me say that again. He told him it has to be by choice. But if you can get a certain number of people to take this by choice, then therefore I will move back and allow you to make it mandatory after a certain amount of people. That's why I know they haven't gotten that number yet, because they haven't made it mandatory. Yeah, they put guidelines and rules, but it's not forcing you to get it. It's just causing you to lose your job. Lots of people in the schools have. That's why I didn't know that's why the schools wasn't open and wasn't doing what they supposed to, enrolling the children, because I found out a lot of the teachers quit. I didn't know that, but I found that out. So now that they done it, and if they once they reach that mark, then that leads me to understand, okay, Father, it's over. Yes, Deborah, it's over. That means that he's going to allow the beast to fulfill and move to the next level with this. And that's the level of making it mandatory, force, or you get killed, taking you out of your homes, fulfilling the word. You see? But right now, it's by choice. And what I like about it is it gives me the time to feel, to get a breather. Because I know the moment it becomes mandatory is because the Most High said, okay, you got enough people that chose you over me. So, okay, you can go on now and make it mandatory. You see? Because mine's going to come back to me no matter what. That's how the Most High rumble. That's how he did with Abraham with Lot. Remember he told him? Lot, Abraham was reasoning with him. If you find this many in there, which you destroy. If you find this many in there, which you destroy. If you find this many. Look, Abraham, you know it ain't none in there, not even Lot. So why you keep asking him? But he walked away. Why? Because y'all told him. If I found that in there, surely I wouldn't destroy it. But y'all knew he was going to destroy it because he already knew what was up in there. He knew what was up in there. So that's how he does things. So that will be a stage where I'm going to be honest. I know I'm flesh, but I know I'm spirit. I think that's when my flesh will get kind of a little out for balance because I know that it's coming. I know it because it's biblical spoken when it become mandatory. But I can see right now, y'all, it's not letting him make that mandatory right now. But when it become mandatory, that's why I said, if y'all get your house in order, get your spirit lined up with the Most High, and get yourself in order. Okay. Oh, yes, they said they dropping like flies. And with this third one, I said I heard more dropping, passing away with the third one than anything. I was like, how could that be? You know, seem like, because you know what that really is? The booster is to enhance. I think also, you guys, I believe that they're giving them the virus, I call it the how would I say it? Biochemical to pass around. Would you say I heard from family government won't like close to 80%, but unsure. Yeah, that's what they trying to get a certain percentage. Because after they get that certain percentage, they're gonna make it across the board mandatory. And anybody don't get it, kill them. That's good. You got out of the school system, but you should see now a lot of the teachers have already resigned, and not just the teachers, all the other staff members. What do you mean about Pastor Dow? What's that? What's that? Oh, the shutdown. This is going to be their way of getting everybody to buckle up to their ways and their control. The biggest thing they done was fear and control. They got you. Because when they did that first shutdown and they got everybody locked in like that and was closed everything like they did, school, jobs, to me, it shouldn't have ever took place. But because they did it so swift and so easy, they went in and just bam, bam, bam. Yes, it's going to get worse. And that's what a lot of people, and what you do is you can't get people to see that it's going to get worse. And it's sad because people are looking for something. And I think if they have to get out of their mind about Babylon coming down and y'all's going to rescue, they don't understand. They're doing the same thing the Christians is speaking, a rapture. But no, you're going to go down with Babylon. Okay? Those that's going to escape will be that small remnant. Yes, they said it's the shortest of school buses too. I heard about that too. And that's why I feel that it would have done better if the tribe of Judah not be concerned about no other tribe but yourself, because there's so much ugliness in the tribe of Judah than is in any other tribe. And if we would, if we were to get that a little in order with Yah, then we could sell on, and because it ain't gonna stop the heartache and the sorrow that we're gonna face, but it'll give us some leeway to the light as far as what we need to be doing. But they don't want to do that. They don't want. They want to teach hatred and yeah, all the ones that stayed, they took it. Yeah, they chose their side. Yes, I believe there's a shutdown coming. Yes, no doubt about it. That's a power of their control. Yes. And see what this is where, okay, you guys, this is where I was saying to you all, it's so important to line yourself up with the light, because the light has the Christ power. That power can move mountains. Somebody come up to you, somebody try to come to your house, somebody try to come to your door, somebody try to come to your kids' school, somebody, you can use that power and they can't come through. But see, if you ain't got it, what are you going to use? Yeah, you can call on the Most High Yah and don't think that he won't come, but you want to understand everything is going according to his will. We can't wait till we in danger to go calling up on Yah. We got to know he's present in us. He's greater in us. And we got to be right by him. We got to want right by him. You know, it's not a day that should go by in our life that we shouldn't be repenting at his altar. And like he said, not just for us, but for our fathers trespassing and iniquity or sin. See, that let him know that, okay, we know where it come from, Father. And we ask you to forgive our forefathers and us. See, he wants you to feel that thing. So whenever that time comes, because I told you all, I've had 2 dreams where they came to my door. And did you know they couldn't get in? Yep, they're about to do what happened. Oh no, they don't go to hell because they reject the truth. Because see, the truth don't reject no one. See, what happened is the Most High had predestined, and this really is a gift to people to know this. From the beginning, before the foundation of the world, the Most High already knew who would take, who would reject the word, who would reject the truth. Say, for instance, you got a family member that if you went to telling them and they reject truth, guess what? The truth still can rest in them because Yah has placed it in them before the foundation of the world. See, we don't know who's who and what's what because we have not even practiced him that's greater in us. You see, we have not used what he said, try the spirit by the spirit. We have not used the gift of discerning. So therefore, we don't know who's who and what's what. Even like I said, even with this B, I believe without a doubt it's the mark. And the Most High said, I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. In Revelation 15, anybody that received the mark is pretty much not of him. But I still believe he says that. But everybody that's for him, he know who they are. See, I once, oh, I can't say I once did it because I started at 4. So a lot of us once didn't believe and we reject. but he still had it in us, a time and a season in which we will accept. He didn't give up on us. So by we as individuals knowing that truth is in his hand, life and death is in his hand, you see. So therefore we have to understand that we might have a family members and friends that don't accept today but might accept tomorrow. I got an opportunity to talk to a gentleman at my store. It felt so good. Oh, truly a king. Oh, you hear me? It felt so good talking to him, y'all. It felt so good to me because he talked, I listened. I talked, he listened. He talked. We just had 2 hours, and these white people was coming in my store. They was coming in and walking out. They wouldn't even bang because when they heard our conversation, praise the mighty Yah. And I got this man who fathers was in church and grandfather was a pastor, grandmother was evangelist, father was a pastor, bishop, and all this and that. He had decided to not even believe anymore. But when he left out of that store, I broke that thing down to him in love. I told him what love was. And I thank the Most High for giving it to me like that. Because it's not the way it's been taught on these platforms. Things are not what they're actually saying. We have to understand in Matthew 24, he said to his disciples on Mount Olive, be not deceived. Okay, I'm like, wait a minute. You sure all they ask you what would be the days, end days, what would be on what would the end days be like, in the sense what happened in the end days? He didn't tell them anything. He began to first tell them, wait a minute, don't you be deceived. While you worried about what's going to happen on the tail end, let me tell you, on your end, don't be deceived. And I tell that to everyone, because that is the biggest downfall that's taking away, the great falling away, is being deceived by these messages. You got to feel the anointing of the Most High in the teaching that's on this platform. If it does not bring you to the bosom of Yah, and when I say to the bosom of Yah, if it don't take you all the way to his throne, if it do not take you all the way to his throne, then you back up off that message, because you don't want no message that's going to make your flesh feel good, make your flesh feel justified. You want something that's going to take your spirit all the way to the throne of the Most High Yah. And if they ain't giving you messages that's leading to that, because all this stuff that they doing now, hey, y'all, let me tell you, it's not going to rain. People finna be tried by the fire. And the choices that you said you never would make, you're going to find yourself making it quick, fast. And it's going to hurt you in the long run, because that's what type of space we're walking in. And if you don't see that the Most High is judging the house of Israel as I speak, and he's allowing the beast's right hand to be in the midst. The beast's right hand meaning wicked and evil. Yah is not wicked and evil. So therefore, he allowed the beast's right hand to be in the midst. So when you see your brothers and your sister and them taking lives and doing things that had never been done against Yah, then this is why this is happening. You know, he never gave up on us. You know, I did contact that person. It's the strangest thing. It's just something wrong with that picture. I made sure I didn't message that person again. I found that person way down weeks ago. And I asked her what happened to the message that was online. Did she take it down? Because YouTube sent me a message and said it was, she said, well, that wasn't her. And I'm saying to myself now, look, I ain't finna go in nobody's straitjacket. I ain't crazy. And I said, oh, okay, then thank you. Somebody took it down and it was on there, and you said you had a dream that you wanted me to hear. If there's any way I can get in contact with you. That lady said that in that message. and it was taken off and told that it's not allowed. So for this person to say that that wasn't them, I don't put no trust in them. And instant the spirit said, let it go and let her go. Because if she can't admit to that, and it was, I know that something was there and I read it, and then all of a sudden it disappeared, and then you two send me 5 hours later a message, something wrong with that. That's scary too. Something wrong with that. Oh, that about that love, y'all, that should take you all the way to the throne. Praise the Most High Yah. Thank you. Because that allowed me, but you know what I tell you, it got me in trouble though, y'all. It got me in trouble because I'm looking for something out of my past husband. I was looking for something. And to know that love was to give and gave. Me and this guy was in my store. We had, oh yeah, we had a beautiful conversation. He bought about $150 worth of stuff, but he was buying it for his wife for her birthday. And she's a native Indian. And I got a whole section with that sort of stuff. And he was just tickled pink that he could get all this stuff for the little of nothing, but he bought quite a bit of stuff. And we had such a beautiful, he said, never in my life. And I've been in church with my father and my grandfather, which was a bishop, my father, which was a pastor, and his grandmother was an evangelist. And he said he never heard it like that before. That's because it was appointed and anointed by Yah. Because there was a man that had decided to just do away with religion. And that's good and dandy. Ain't nobody want to get caught up in no religion, no way. That's man-made. But I wanted to get him to understand, don't turn your back away from he that created all things. Because the way your family believed and what they have taught you and how you saw things that wasn't right, that too have to pass. You got to move you and your family toward the light, toward God himself. I had to go that route because this man was really pretty much saying, that's just it. I don't believe in nothing. But when he left out of there, he said something, and this white man heard him. He said, amen. It was really deep. It was so deep to hear that brother bounce back. You can see that now he had some sort of hope to believe in, because he had given it all up, been in church all his life. Because I had stopped him. He was like, oh, but yeah, see, my father was in the house, and he gave me everything. My father gave me everything. I wish I had more time with him, but I didn't have more time with him. I wish he would have spent more time with me, but he gave me everything. I said, hold up, bro. Hold up. Do you know what love is? I had to go there. He said, what you mean? He said, what you mean? I said, do you know what love is? He began to give me his definition. I said, no. Don't you hear love to be this, 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 this? And I started just naming different ways, even looking at your ideal of love. I said, but see, love is just give and give. And I began to tell him, and then that brother started quoting the Bible. I was like, that's what I'm talking about. Somebody who want to run from it now was running to it to use it. And he said, that's when it said he gave. Yes, that it's about give and gave. And that's what love is. That's why when he said he made him and her, and he gave her to Adam, her to Adam, and he never said that a man should leave his mother and father and love his wife. You see, he didn't say that. He said a man should leave his mother and his father and cleave to his wife. You see, it's a lot of things he was saying that has to do with give. And love cannot be defined out of the sick mouth of human beings in the flesh. We have to take it what it stands for in the spirit. You see, and not so much as in the flesh, because in the spirit it means give and gave. That's deep, y'all. Y'all should do that study on your own. It's beautiful. Yes, a lot of them that don't know. But see, his Yah's name is like his commandments and his laws. Once he's in you, that's his name. That's why he said, come judgment when you stand before me, and you're gonna say, I did this in how in your name. I did this in how in your name. I did this in how in your name. Whoever these people are that's gonna say they did this in his name, they had the name packed, but it didn't fool him. You see? So it's not so much as the name in the way we are speaking it. His name is spirit and truth. I learned that his name as well is holy. You see? It's holy. Heavenly Father, which art in heaven, holy be thy name. And even when he talks about I am, when I go into the spirit realm and pray to him in a tongue I know not, I do know. How was it? It's a word that I use. And I asked, what did it mean? I asked the Hebrew men, what did it mean? And an African man in Africa told me it means I am, I am. So what I'm saying is, if we could take that name and know it in spirit and truth, and our spirit says, he said, and our spirit says, Abba, Abba, Father. That's what he said. So our spirit don't call him by the name in which man's trying to master us to speak. Because we just read a verse where it said, and here it is. Let me give it to you. Here it is. 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 Romans 8, chapter 8, verse 15. Watch this here. For ye have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear. That means we got a spirit, but he ain't giving us that spirit to be in bondage against fear. But ye have received the spirit of adoption, which is the Holy Spirit, whereby we cry, Abba, Father. You see? How do we cry that? In our spirit to his spirit. You see? It ain't about us mastering the commandments, because we can't, not in our flesh, but in our spirit. We can't master his name, not in our flesh, but in our spirit. See? So when Sister Deborah was telling you about speaking to him in the spirit, in the closet, that's in our spirit. And I know many of you probably didn't try it, but I'm telling you something. You're missing a treat. Thank you so much. He's worthy to be praised. Hallelujah. Praise the Most High Yah. And we're running into hours too. Abba, Abba. That's exactly what it says. It says we cry in our spirit, Abba, Abba, Father. And I'm like saying, okay. He's even letting you know. So what happens is, when they come out with a religion, they always want you to master the names in which they put under this religion. They want you to master the control, the power, the authority that they put under it. Let it go and let the Spirit of the Most High Yah master himself, because he is all power. Once you learn about that right hand that's stretched out on, it'll tell everybody stand down. I'm telling y'all, it'll tell you stand down. You don't know nothing, because they have not mastered that. See, when he said, when he told me the whole host of heavens brought the Israelites out, I'm like, you mean you need the whole host of heaven to do that? Yes. Because they thinking Moses bringing them out. No, y'all did his number. You see? His power. Go back there. It'll tell you the whole host of heaven brought them out. See, they don't understand that because they don't want to give the authority back to who it belongs, to the Most High Yah and His will. They got to share it and break it down to fit into their denomination and what they want to teach it and get people to believe. And I know I've had you all on here too long. So I appreciate you all out in the live chat. And I appreciate you all coming on. And I'm not going to hold you much longer. If anybody have anything to say, and let us pray for the one that said that they wanted prayer. I'm going to definitely do that. We must. It was Haya. There it is. Haya. That's it. Haya. That's the only word I know in the closet when I'm speaking in tongue. Haya. And then he told me, and he's a I think they said he's a scholar or whatever, but he told me, Sister Deborah, that's I am. I was like, I was so glad when he told me that. Our flesh is nothing. It's Haya. And I thank you all, love you all, and I appreciate you all. I really do. All right. I'm glad you got confirmation. So I guess I'll be getting out. And I will say again, thank you all. And I will be back. So I say good night and shalom and shalom.